Great awakening, light lords, and grand rising to those who do not know that they are God yet, who are becoming, who are becoming in knowing of that, knowing that they are God and everything is them, and to see the God within themselves and everyone. Now, coming back today to address how the sun is God, because I want y'all to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. And what's our purpose here? What my purpose is here. And because I'm everything. And I'm seeing everything for what it is. You know, they say the truth is hidden in plain sight. Well, if the truth is hidden in plain sight, then it means you need another sight to see it. You need another type of sight to see it. You can't just see it with the common sight. You have to have the right type of sight, to see the truth. Now, when you look at the sun, what do you see? Of course, you see light, but behind that light, I know if anybody, you know, if you look at the sun, you're not just going to see a ball of light. You're seeing all spectrums. You're seeing the full spectrum of visible light. You're seeing all colors rolled into one. And behind that light, you can also see at the same time blackness. I want you to go outside right now and look, and literally don't stare at it too long, but actually go out there and look at the sun. Just take a glance at it. If you look at it and you're looking at it right, there is something behind that light. It's not just light. It's not just a ball of light. There's something behind it. It's a portal. It's the portal of your own mind. Okay?
Can you carry this?
It's your own mind projecting itself into this reality, into this plane, into this planet, this place we call Earth, or Terra, or Urantia, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Now, without sunlight, plants can't grow. Without sunlight, water. Without light, period, there would be no existence. There would be no existence. I want to start off saying that. Without light, without the darkness behind this sun creating light, there would be nothing in existence. No, I mean nothing to physically view, nothing to physically experience. You know, your body absorbs sunlight and creates food for itself. Plants absorb sunlight and create food for themselves so they can live, so they can experience this reality. Without that, you can't experience this. The definition of God is an all-knowing, all-powerful, an ever-present being, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. You could have none of those things without light. Now let me explain light. Light moves according to Einstein, according to the theory of relativity. Light moves at 186,000 miles per second. 186,000 miles per second. And in order for light to even move that fast, its mass would have to be infinite, which means forever, of course. And what it takes to move the light, the energy it takes to move the light, would also have to be infinite. So, okay, everything's moving, right? If all of this is moving, if everything in the universe, that's another law. That's a law of the Kabbalion. That's a law of this universe, a hermetic principle, the law of vibration. Everything moves, everything vibrates, nothing rests. Everything is moving. That would mean that this is infinite, that we are infinite beings, that we always were and always will be. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and everything that was made, nothing was made but by it. When nothing made nothing was made without thought. Nothing was made without our thinking it, or it being made, or us bringing it into existence. Nothing was made without us bringing it into existence. Okay. Now imagine if you was a being, just one being called. We're just gonna say this being is called God, because when you born, the word God wasn't even made. The word God is a baby word. We using this word God. It's just a baby word. I'm using it just to get people to see from my lower self to see my higher self. Okay. God is just this word was created recently, just a few thousand years ago. This word God. Anyways, just imagine if you was God, which you are, but for the sake of the conversation, let's just say that you just sitting in infinite darkness. You always was, and you just sitting in infinite darkness. And let's just say there was a beginning. Okay, let's just say there was a beginning, and there's infinite darkness, and it wasn't shit. It wasn't shit in existence. Would you just sit there and just be in infinite darkness and nothing? Hell no. You're gonna create something. You're gonna create a whole bunch of shit. You're gonna create all this. You're gonna create ways for you to know yourself and reflect back to yourself. And the way you're gonna know yourself, if you already know everything, is to forget. So you put yourself in an amnesic state. You condense your potential of possibilities into probabilities, and then into things happening, into beings being made, all of this being created. I mean, the truth is simple, man. The truth is hidden in plain sight, but you got to have another type of sight to see it. You see what I'm saying? Without the sun, none of this would exist. Without the sun, none of this would exist. The body does so many things with the sun. With the sunlight. It's not about worshiping nothing. It's not about worshiping. It's about knowing thyself. Know what you are. Know what you are connected with, and know that you cannot be without it. And know why you created it, and why you are here to experience this realm. It's not about worshiping anything. When you worship something, you give your energy to it. And when you should worship yourself. Give your energy back to yourself. Know yourself. Study yourself. People out here walking around don't even know themselves. Working for this system. Working for this fake ass matrix that we in. Created by European culture. Our lower selves. At one point, everybody was connected with nature. With the birds and the bees, lion, tigers, and bears. Connected with the sun, the moon, and the stars. And we fell from that in ignorance. Because of the amnesia, because of the game of God. We made ourselves fall from grace purposely to experience this game of knowing thyself. To expand oneself. You tell me right now, you can live in darkness. You can live in darkness forever, without any of this food. You tell me that right now. Tell me you can live without the sun. Tell me you can exist without the sun. Even when you go to sleep, you got a sun in your dreams. Even when you go to sleep, you're creating the sun in your dreams because sun is thought. Sun is your mind. Your mind creates this reality. Go study the Kabbalion. They took all the religious books we got, all that is just interpretations of nature. And our lower self took it and broke pieces of it apart, put in what they wanted to put in, used it for their agendas, and that's why we in the situation we in. Because of ourselves. You gotta open your mind. Understand. You are God. You are one with the sun and the earth and the trees. Everything on it. And the moon. And the different planets. And the cosmos. You are a cosmic being. You are not just an earthling. You must begin to embrace, to know what your body is for. Know that the pores on your body take in the oxygen, which are condensed forms of light. Know that when you put on too many clothes, you restrict yourself from taking in light. You restrict your body from taking in itself. You restrict yourself from getting oxygen, which goes to the brain and helps you think. Helps you create your reality. People are lost. But I'm glad I woke up and can experience reality and know what it is and not be lost. I'm glad I'm saved. I'm glad once I got baptized, I went to search for this knowledge and I found it. Because if you seek, you shall find. And if you knock, the door shall be opened. Christ is a consciousness, a thinking state. Every human being has a Christ. Every human being has the Christ. You just must awaken to it. You must know it. Know thyself. In fact, Christ is a fluid. Christ is a fluid that goes up the spinal column, up to your pituitary gland and pineal gland to awaken you to who you are. This is all physics. This is all genetics. It's all astrology, chemistry. All of this comes from self. All of this comes from oneself. The lower self tells you to stay away from yourself. That is self-destruction. Do you not understand that that is self-destruction? The sun is God and you are God because you created the sun. Because the sun is thought. The sun is your thought. And without it, no being on this plane would have thought. So the sun is projecting thought into all beings on this plane. Through it, there will be no existence. Without it, there will be no existence. Let's look at it like this. God is a vase. That vase breaks into pieces, into many, many pieces, many, many pieces. That's what we are. We are the pieces. But will that piece not say? Will that piece say that it's not the vase? That's ignorance. The piece, the only way the piece of the vase cannot say that it's part of the whole vase is if it doesn't know. Is if it doesn't know that it is the vase. You pick up a fucking piece of glass right now and throw it on the ground and it shatter into pieces and tell me that glass is not the same as the whole glass you had in your hand.
Is it over this way?
Mm-hmm.
To the right of the stop sign?
Yeah. You tell me that. This is simple knowledge, man. This is what we came here to do, man. This is what we came here to do. It's so simple. The truth is so simple. But it's so many distractions. There's so much stuff in the way that people just can't see it, man. And when you've been living so long and been taught some things so long, put inside your subconscious program in your subconscious mind, and been taught to live in separation from oneself, you can't even get this knowledge no more, man. That's why it's time for people in my generation and younger to wake up, to have our children already woke, so we can change this reality, man. Because we living in our lower selves right now, and it's time to rise up. The sun is sending electrons to your body. The sun is sending electrons to the earth. A boost of energy downloads. It's not about worshiping shit. Just knowing. Because when you know better, you do better. You got all these churches around here talking about they know God, but if they knew God, they'll do God. They'll be God. And they will be teaching that. I'm glad I woke up. I'm glad I'm saved. I'm glad I got a way to spread this message. I'm glad this technology was made. The sun is God because every piece of sunlight, every piece of light that's coming from the sun to create our galaxy is a part of it. And without, the sun is God because every piece of light that comes from it is in all things. Connect with the sunlight, connect with nature, and get back in tune with the higher self. Light lords. And that's all I want to say for right now. Peace.